This is the tournament that it's like, here's your participation trophy.
Nah, but
because you're not good enough for the actual playoffs.
See, but I don't think that, right?
How do you think about it?
So that's what makes it interesting to me, because I think when people hear in-season tournament, it's like, well, it's not as important as the finals. Well, of course it's not important the finals. The finals have been around for what, 70s, whatever years. Like, it's the most important trophy in basketball. Yeah. This is something that's completely brand new.
All right, so like, not to cut you off, just for the people that aren't aware of what the in-season tournament is.
Okay.
Explain the process and how that affects the season and the playoffs. Just so people can understand.
That's the beauty of it. I have no fucking idea.
Because I'm sitting here like, I don't know.
When did ESPN become MTV, bro? I don't want to see Taylor Swift.
Listen.
You're supposed to give me highlights. You're supposed to talk shit.
Let me ask you this.
I don't want to see her just cheering with his mom. Like, I don't care.
Let me put it in your language. If one of the players from the Knicks was dating Taylor Swift, and every pre-game, post-game coverage, in-game coverage was Taylor Swift on courtside. The guy she's dating scores 30 every night, and this and the third, and everything is just based around her. Like, well, the team's 3-0 ever since Taylor came in, and now Taylor's not there. They're 3-3. Like, how would you feel about that kind of rhetoric and narrative?
It's literally happened all the time. Yeah.
What's poppin', people? Welcome back to another episode of Say Less with Kaz.
Yo.
Low-key.
What's poppin'?
And Rosy.
What's up, Rosy?
What's going on?
I'm chilling, man. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to be back. Good to be in the mix. Appreciate everybody listening to the last episode. The last episode was crazy because it wasn't our first episode we recorded since being back together.
Right.
But the way things have worked out, people kind of thought it was.
Right.
So immediately once we posted the Luis Guzman Aristotle episode, my messages was filled with, "Where's Rosie?" Right?
Crazy thing is, no one asked me shit.
Nobody asked no shit.
Nobody. Is the boys back in town?
We got a multiple time award winning actor right here from New York, from BX Bronx. And Aristotle, one of our longtime buddies, incredible creative, directed his first ever movie. Critically acclaimed, Story Ave. Check it out whenever you can. And of course, Luis Guzman, one of the most legendary actors there is. And everybody was like, "Where the hell's Rosie?"
Not everybody, but
there was people that was in
wow, Lo.
It's not the same. Like, it's not the same if I be like, yeah, everybody. Like, no.
I feel like it's kind of a compliment, right?
It's a big compliment.
You should take it as well. You were missed.
But why he gotta like take my compliment and just be like, I mean, not everybody.
I mean, that's a little style. A little half style.
Right, like. We miss you. Like, they could get over it. Let's get back to work. Let's get back to fucking work, my nigga.
Let's get back to the shit.
Like, come on.
We usually
give a goddamn.
That's insane.
No, that's how Low shows love. Low shows love by. He's a what we called you, a negger?
No, don't bring that up.
A nagger?
A negger.
Negger.
Neggao. No, when we were talking about when people are
when you were like, can Jake say it? Jake was like, he won't.
He won't. No, we were talking about neggers with people that compliment you by reinforcing negative things about them.
Okay.
So
I remember that.
Yeah, so that's why we called you the N-word. I feel comfortable saying it now.
Negger,
I didn't feel a way of saying it until you mentioned the Jake joke, but yeah.
But Jake said that. We have a whole clip where he was like, can Jake say it? And he was like, he won't.
Man.
That shit was hilarious.
We almost set Jacob for failure right there.
Several times we almost set Jacob for failure.
But Jake knows better. He knew.
He definitely does. Well, appreciate y'all listening. Welcome back to the show. We got a great guest as well coming in later today, and couldn't be more timely of a guest as well. Like, we got
NBA season's back.
NBA season's back. Boy.
How y'all doing?
Boy. What, the Knicks?
Yeah, how y'all doing?
Knicks look all right.
Because y'all lost to Boston the other night.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's 81 other games.
Okay.
81
no, because remember, Rosy?
Yeah.
Huh?
Remember last year when they went 5 and what did he say?
Yeah.
Well, I went to the first game.
Okay. Which one? Knicks Celtics?
The Boston?
You was in there. Okay.
I was in there.
I bet on that game too. I lost.
You bet on the Knicks?
Yeah.
And Spirit of Cash.
Shout out points, but yo, they had it up until the last covered. They almost covered. You know what I mean? So I get you, but yeah.
Okay.
It was fun.
It's an environment,
it was close too.
It's an environment.
Like, I thought the Knicks almost.
Yeah, we thought that too. I was watching it. Yeah.
Man, listen, the Knicks are going to be they were good last year. Like, people, like, when we talk.
Yeah, they didn't just fall off.
No, they're not. Like, I kind of like that they brought back a lot of the same guys that they had last year. And on top of that, it's fun because this is the first time in my adult life that the Knicks are like expected to be good again. Not like championship level good, but like, you know, you get the first game on ESPN, you know what I mean? Everybody, the whole world's watching. You got it's the undercard to the Wemby debut and everybody's watching. So it's like, that's a big spot to be in.
Do you feel any pressure?
What, for the Knicks?
For the Knicks, because I know you have high expectations.
Nah, that's the funny thing. I think the Knicks are, I think they only feel pressure if they like, I think the only pressure that they have this year is if that now is the time to take a swing on like trading for a superstar.
Gotcha.
I think that's the only pressure. I think the best thing going with the Knicks right now is that they got the same guys that they've had for a minute. They've showed a little bit of playoff success now. They got the point guard position figured out, even though Jalen Brunson played a rare, not great game that first game. But I just think overall the energy around the Knicks is like overly positive.
It doesn't seem negative, doesn't seem pessimistic.
Dog,
it seems like, okay, like they have a solid group of guys that have figured out how to maneuver around each other. Made it to the second round last year. First time in what, 10 years?
First time in 10 years.
And I think now, I don't know why I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say it. I think they have a promising season.
I think they will too, and that's the only part that's been making me uncomfortable, right? Like I just think New Yorkers in general. You feel where I'm coming from. Yeah. Like there's always been that thing about being a New Yorker where it's almost like how I could imagine Chicago people feel about the Cubs, right? Like they love the Cubs, like they live and die with the Bears, but they know that the Cubs don't win. You know what I mean? They're almost like this lovable hometown to your heart team. But
so when they start looking,
when they start actually looking good, you're just like, how am I supposed to handle this?
I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Because you've felt this feeling before where they should be good.
Well, Kaz, let me ask you, how did you think the Celtics look without?
I think I like the Celtics. I like the Celtics more this year than last year.
Really,
a lot more.
They look like that. They look really good.
Man, listen, I think Marcus Smart.
They don't look bad.
No, here's the thing: Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, Tom Lord. They lost a lot of important guys last year in those trades to get Porzingis and Drew Holiday. But I always thought, you know, Marcus Smart is like a very specific ass player, right? In the same vein as like Draymond Green. Yeah, like he's one of those people where it's like, you know, like you either with him or against them. And that's good when you win a lot. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to take away from him, but I just like the way this team is made up, because when you have a guy like that is very much a part of the personality of a team, when the two players that are the best players on your team should be that guy, like it should take after in my opinion, your best players that personality should take over them instead of your lesser players. Not saying Marcus Smart's whack. He's a very good player.
It's almost like the mentality Mike had.
Right.
You know
right. Not even Mike. It don't gotta be Mike.
No, I'm just as a reference.
But just better teams, the better teams in the league, the teams that have won championships, their best players are the leaders. And I think for a while, people thought like Marcus Smart was kind of like the de facto leader because he was like the defensive energy. Like
he was the loudmouth. He was the spark.
He talked a little shit. You know what I mean? Like in the same way, Draymond Green is kind of like, he's not the best player on the team, but
he's the loudmouth. He's the spark.
They take the personality of him. He talks a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So, just as far as basketball is concerned, man,
he's a dog.
Seeing Porzingis, yeah, like he's a dog, and I think in Memphis is going to be perfect for him.
Oh, he matches up. What about when Ja comes back?
Yeah, when Ja, I think he's going to help Ja a lot. I think they're going to be.
He's going to snatch Ja right by the collar. Get your ass.
Not even snatch him by the collar. He'll give the same stuff that Dylan Brooks gave you, but I think the reason why
a more refined and more experienced way,
because he's actually been there. Yeah. Dylan Brooks kind of like, he's like that fucking. What is that?
He's that dog without the experience.
What's the cartoon with the fucking dog that talks a lot of shit? It's like, come on, son.
Like fam, like
I appreciate your gumption.
But like,
it's trying very
Dylan
hard.
The villain. Like, no one's calling you that,
Listen, I respect it though. Like, if you could find any way to make a living in this league for a long time, do what you got to do. If you got to be the dude who gets under people's skin and talk shit and do that shit, do it.
But you got to prove it statistically. you got to really show, like, you can call yourself all you want, but we got to see that shit on the court night in, night out. I got to see it.
And that's why I think Marcus Smart's a better fit for Ja. Right. Like, I think I'd rather have a guy who's been there, who's been head up with some of the best players, gotten the best of them sometimes, you know what I mean, and knows how to kind of acquiesce himself.
He's experienced both sides of the spectrum.
A talent as Ja Morant.
Yeah.
You know, so I think they'll be good. But the Celtics, man, it didn't seeing Porzingis go nuts didn't really make it feel any better because
in New York.
Because I thought he was a free agent this year. Yeah. And I thought that you know, he
thought they were going snatched.
I think it would have been a cool story because, you know, Porzingis kind of balled last year for Washington under the radar. He got healthy again. Yeah. New York is still kind of, you know, like, we're forgiven. So I was like, yo, kind of be a cool story if Kristaps came back and, you know, added to this team. Like, you got the money to go get him. Like, try and figure it out and get him. And then once the Celtics got him, I said, fuck.
First game of the season.
Right. They was already good. They was already kind of better than the Knicks. And they went and got a player that I thought could have helped.
Sounds like that was a little thorn in your side.
Whatever happened to Linsanity?
What happened to Linsanity? I mean, it's a long time ago.
No, I'm saying, whatever happened to him?
What time travel question was that?
I mean,
a random question.
He's doing all right. He did the the people who did his documentary 38 in the Garden. We did a show. Yeah, we did a show with him on MSG back in the day. Well, it was back in the day already, back in like 2021.
Hey, bro, like
with Monica, and you know, we got to see that documentary with Jeremy Lin. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, you can have like a short spurt of greatness in New York City and still be kind of revered over time. Yeah. Like, I'm sure Rosy don't know every single backup point guard in the NBA, but she knows who the fuck Jeremy Lin is. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the power.
That's the power. That's the power. We said backup.
No, I'm saying like backup point guard. Yeah, like
I could probably name every point.
I'm sure you can. Yeah, obviously.
We're saying backup point guard.
I'm saying the Jeremy Lin story is special because he was a guy who kind of came out of nowhere. He did it in New York City
in a short time span, in front of a lot of people,
right?
And then went over to LA and did what he had to do.
But not only that, the thing is, if you were in New York when that happened, you couldn't not see it. It was every fucking
But that's the thing, though. That's what makes right now so good. Like, every night feels like that. Like, opening night at the Garden, it was electric in there, man. Like, electric like it has been.
They're like, I think the two nights that the Garden is electrifying is opening night, and the first game of the playoffs.
But yeah, I mean, it's a different level when it's like
I'm just saying electric, like electric
for sure. Yeah. But I would say this, man. Like, for the most part, the 2020s have been kind of decent for the Knicks, right? Like, I mean, for the past, you know, I would say before that, I mean, Melo had the spurt of good times, but wasn't a whole lot of good times for the Knicks in the past like decade and a half, up until 2020 when they signed Randall, drafted Barrett. You know what I mean?
They're crafting a nice little franchise.
They're not the worst, right? There were times when they were the worst. You know,
it was easy to make them the butt of a joke at any point.
Of course, people still make them butts of the joke,
but now it's not as deserved.
Even them losing their first game,
like you said, there's 81 more left.
There's 81 more left. Like it was the first time like I seen the Knicks lose a game at home on national television, and it wasn't just like jokes on the Knicks. It was
it was just the better team.
They're gonna be a tough out, basically.
The better team just won. That's
word. Also, and who knows what happens from here until the end of the season? People get hurt, people get traded, all this other stuff. Like, just be in the mix.
We don't really analyze anything until after All-Star break.
True. I mean, it's gonna be different this year though, because that in-season tournament.
Oh yeah,
that in-season tournament's gonna be interesting. I know a lot of people didn't have any real
expectations for it.
Not expectations, but you know, people are always hard to. People are hard to really. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for?
You know, a lot of them.
Yeah, what is the word?
What is the word?
So but this year is the in-season tournament,
right?
So it's like, you know how people are. Like, people are always scared of change, right? Like, when new things are coming, it's like
the adjustments.
It's like, you're gonna hang a banner for an in-season tournament win, or you're gonna do.
Wait, so you get a trophy for the in-season tournament?
So they're giving out an NBA cup, basically. So it's something, and
like a cup, like.
I mean, like a little thing, like a little.
What is this, popcorn
trophy?
A cup?
Listen, obviously, anything that's new is gonna take some time for people to like.
This is the tournament that It's like, here's your participation trophy.
Nah, but
because you're not good enough for the actual playoffs.
See, but I don't think that, right?
How do you think about it?
So that's what makes it interesting to me, because I think when people hear in-season tournament, it's like, well, it's not as important as the finals. Well, of course it's not important the finals. The finals have been around for what, 70s, whatever years. Like, it's the most important trophy in basketball. This is something that's completely brand new.
All right, so like, not to cut you off, just for the people that aren't aware of what the in-season tournament is.
Okay.
Explain the process and how that affects the season and the playoffs. Just so people can
the beauty
understand.
of it. I have no fucking idea.
Because I'm sitting here like, I don't know. So I'm like, if anybody knows, Cat's gonna know. So let's break this down for people.
He does not.
Yo, that nigga, he was talking so well. I'm like, he knows what it is. All right, yo, so tell us how it goes.
The idea of the in-season tournament of, okay,
that was genius.
There's so many games that just don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Okay. People are sitting out, and people want to be ready for the long stretch, whatever. People are paying the high, crazy amounts for ticket sales just to watch these star players play. Right. Let's put something into the season that gives people incentive to want to play in games in November and December that may have been just meaningless before
that I'm gonna sit out for, and I'm not I'll play 15, 20 minutes.
Dog, it is the time. Like, the idea of it, I get. This is prime NFL talk. Like, football dominates everything. Right. What did you just say before we started this conversation? We don't pay attention until after Christmas or after the All-Star break.
After All-Star break.
You know what I mean? Like, people don't care.
You're right.
So the idea of the in-season tournament
of entry interest.
Like, I get it. You do it the first year. Maybe you get some fun games out of it, some great moments. You know what I mean? Like some buzzer beaters. You know what I'm saying? You give some people to play for. Everybody gets an extra meal, extra something to take home or something like that. And then the next year, it's like, okay, that's something that people want to strive for. Like, okay, if you don't make it to the finals,
at least I got the in-season tournament.
You can send a message to the rest of the league, like, you know, we're a legitimate team. Like,
we didn't go that far, but we handled our business in this sector.
Right. So it's like, so if your team wins the in-season tournament and then you don't win the finals, you could still be like, well, they won the in-season tournament. So at some point, they were one of the best teams in the league.
So, okay, a question you may not know because you just told me you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, I mean the round robin, like the scheduling, like the point system, I have no fucking clue. I'm just like, I'm asking you, like,
you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm asking a
however, it sounds good. All
I know is that the finals are played in Vegas at a neutral site. That's all I know. And then they'll hand out an NBA Cup. How they get there, no fucking clue.
Can you win the in-season tournament and the NBA championship?
Well, that's my thing. I think if there's a team,
I'm just like,
I think if there's a team that wins,
he's making this up.
No, listen to me.
I really think he does, and it sounds so good. Adam Silver, like, he's making the rules as he's going.
Making it up, bro.
I know. I'm saying the actual way that they crown the winner of the in-season tournament, as far as seedings and as far as like who plays for what. That I'm not so sure because I'm round robin stuff. It's
no clue.
And the biggest sports fan can tell you what a round robin is confusing sometimes because they go by point systems, whatever.
I got you.
If it's brackets, one game elimination, boom. That's how most tournaments work. You win and you're in, all that type of shit.
Okay.
But for this, it's like, okay, it's something new. If Denver wins the in-season tournament, does the in-season tournament mean nothing now? It means that, okay, they won the finals and they won the in-season tournament coming in this year. You mean to tell me they ain't that deal? So then it means something. But if Denver wins the finals this past year and then like the Lakers win the in-season tournament, now it's like, oh, the Lakers are, you know, they're going to be serious by the time it gets to the finals. They already showed that in crunch time, in tournament time, they could come through.
I've never heard someone talk about something so proficient when they don't know what they're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about.
No, in regards to the subject.
The idea of the tournament.
It's so good how you're speaking.
It's okay to not know.
Oh,
okay, all right, one last question.
I don't think you're listening.
I'm just intrigued. No,
I don't think you're listening is what I'm saying.
Wait. Right.
Yeah.
If you win the in-season tournament, do you automatically get into the playoffs?
No. There's no incentive.
How did you know that?
There's no postseason incentive. Like, I know the idea of the tournament.
Rosy, stop.
What I actually don't know is how the seedings, who plays what, who, like why they play each other, like if there's certain home court advantages and all that stuff, whatever. But what I do know is that if you win the tournament, you don't get like a free buy into the playoffs. Like you don't get
that's what I was.
You don't get anything. You just get an NBA Cup. It's just something.
Okay.
It's just an incentive. And I think everybody in the roster gets like $500,000 or $1 million, something extra.
Okay.
I mean, if you're a megastar in that team, it probably don't mean shit. But if you're somebody on a rookie deal or veteran's minimum or something like that, like the extra $1 million is something. Okay. You know, so it'll be interesting to see who, you know, takes advantage of that. And you know, and maybe I just think it'll make for more interesting basketball. There's so many times November, December, where people are just like
we're not because now it's the playoffs for the NFL, so now our attention's over there.
Of course,
okay.
So I get it.
Let's switch roles.
Okay,
ask me about the Jay-Z album that I don't know that's coming out.
Nobody cares about your whole story.
No, I'm just saying like now.
Remember the bet we made last
you could not
episode?
even go how's 30 minutes?
Doesn't matter.
Bro, you were talking about
we could be talking about lighting.
No,
and he brings up Jay-Z.
I just wanted to switch the roles. I'm talking about something I don't know about.
We could be talking about this man's camera work. Be like, yo, you know whose camera work?
Y'all sat here and listened to this thing.
Album cover.
Y'all sat here.
The cameraman there.
We sat here.
People said it wouldn't take the $500,000 to use Jay-Z, but I'll take you.
Jay-Z told you not to take it. Jay-Z himself said, don't take it. He basically said, what, I'm not coming to. I ain't got shit to say.
We sat here and listened to a nigga specifically say, I don't know what I'm talking about, and rambled on for 30 minutes. Yeah, but what does that have to
do with Jay-Z?
Because I don't know what I'm talking about either.
Nah, that's
the nuance of it.
I think you missed my entire point when I said I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, you said you don't know.
I said I don't know.
You don't know how they got there.
I don't know the point system, like the tournament system. I know the idea of the tournament, like what it's out there to do, but I just don't know. I know there's a schedule. I know there's teams that play that they've already released a play-in tournament schedule.
Are there rankings?
That I don't know. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like I don't know.
He knows what the idea is, but they haven't figured it out yet. So
there's
he don't
a whole
know.
commercial of Richard Jefferson trying to explain the rules, and I still don't know what the hell he's talking about. Like he's sitting there like, this is the first year the in-season tournament. We're gonna have this team from there,
and then this team.
I think they should be semifinals in Las Vegas.
I just think they should have had it figured out.
We gotta get into something. Lo, what the fuck did that have to do with Jay-Z?
Oh, I don't know. It was an example. I don't have nothing to say about Hov. It was an example. That's
Watch him bring up Hov again before the show's over.
Well,
I really wanted to say something crazy, but I'm not.
I mean,
you're going to.
Let's talk about a subject near and dear to your heart. Let's talk about Jay-Z. Jay-Z was on.
No.
Let's talk about the Giants. Let's talk about the Giants and the Jets playing this Sunday.
There's nothing. No.
Giants and the Jets are playing this Sunday.
By the time this comes out, it'll be irrelevant.
Giants probably win.
Probably not.
You gonna put a bet up?
No.
$5.
You think Jets are gonna win?
I think the Jets are gonna win.
Really?
The Jets are the better team. The Jets are the better team.
Did y'all win? Did y'all win last week?
Yeah. Well, it was a bye week, but we won our last 2 out of our last 3 games.
Who'd you beat the week before the bye?
Oh gosh, was it?
Giants won last week too.
Yeah, we won last week.
Accidentally.
Oh my god!
How was it accidentally?
I'm joking.
Yeah, shut up.
Jeez Louise, I forgot who they beat. They beat a pretty good team a couple of weeks ago.
Wasn't the Patriots?
Dolphins?
Was it? Hold on 1 second.
Nah, they beat a solid team.
They've beaten.
We're 2-5. We beat. Who do we beat last week?
Sorry if this is Wayne. This is what happens when you have to freestyle the show and the girls doesn't show up.
Oh my
the Broncos.
They beat the Eagles.
They beat the Eagles.
That was Monday night, right?
Monday Night Football.
Yeah,
no, Sunday night.
We're supposed to be talking about basketball, but our guest didn't show up.
They beat the Eagles.
All right, man.
They've beaten some good teams. That's why I'm the Jets, in my opinion.
What's the record?
3-3. But
you're 500.
Damn, it's already the 7th week coming up.
Yeah.
8th week. Actually.
Damn,
the Giants gonna have a bye till like the 12th or 13th.
The Giants are like one.
Nah, we're 2-5. Relax.
The Jets have beat the Bills. Beat the Bills, who's an over 500 team. Lost to the Cowboys. Lost to the Patriots. Lost to the Chiefs. By 3. But beat the Broncos pretty handily, and beat the Eagles. They got the Snoopy Bowl this Sunday against the Giants, and you know, it's this time I want to say in the summer, right before the season was starting, like I had this game circled for a while. Not just because, you know, I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be playing against Daniel Jones and we all probably going to be all that type of stuff. But I mean, I just thought, you know, we love talking about the New York and the sports scene
Subway
here.
Series and that type of shit.
And the fact that the Giants and the Jets play in the regular season isn't something that happens every year. So, you know, it was just interesting. I mean, we play each other. Giants Jets play each other every preseason.
Yeah, all the time.
But in the regular season, it's rare.
It's far and beyond.
Exactly. And most of the times, I have no problem admitting this, the Giants are usually the superior team against the Jets,
but
right?
This year it's a little topsy-turvy.
It's the first time that I'm like, all right. Like if the Jets, if you're listening to this now and the Jets lost this game, there's gonna be a million people talking about right now, oh, what a letdown by the Jets. How do you let Tyrod Taylor go in there?
Hold on.
I'm just saying that I like Tyrod Taylor.
But
it's not,
that's what they're gonna say. He's not a premier, like it's not
they went in there without Daniel Jones and
But we still got Saquon is still
probably
very
Zach
healthy.
Wilson did some shit that wasn't good or whatever. Yeah. Probably this deep. The fact is, even though, you know, the Jets didn't have Rodgers because of the injury, they still got that defense. Yeah. And that defense should be good enough to beat any team in the NFL because they already have.
Essentially, they should not be 3-3.
They could very easily could have been 5-2 right now.
Well, the Giants?
The Jets.
The Jets.
I mean,
they should. Yeah, it should have been 5-2.
We know what happened with Swifty-8.
Yeah,
we know what happened with Swifty-8. Yeah. Like they should have. The Chiefs. They probably Mahomes' worst game ever. 4 picks, but you know, Swifty was in the building. Cowboys did Cowboys things. That was a very questionable calls that game. I ain't gonna hold you.
It's the Chiefs.
Of course, it's the Chiefs.
Yeah,
the Chiefs find ways to win.
You can.
I can't mention that there's some questionable things that happen when there's a million new Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce commercials that drop the night on NBC, and every single camera angle is showing her, every single questionable call that could go against the New York Jets goes against the New York Jets, and they make sure that you can't have Swifty lose her first game on national TV.
Mean PR?
Wait, what?
You mean marketing?
All that.
You mean that?
She don't even play. What you mean?
Listen,
you're not here with us. You're not here
Taylor
with us.
Swift.
Talking about she can't lose.
Taylor Swift may not have pads. She may not have a jersey on.
No, she has pads.
She may. Hey, yo, that's crazy.
It's the truth.
She may not have cleats on, but let me tell you, Taylor Swift is as big a player in the NFL as anybody out there right now.
He's not
wrong. She is a conglomerate onto her own.
He is not wrong. As much as I hate it.
What was the one?
As much as I hate it.
What, Rosie?
I do not want to turn on ESPN and hear Taylor Swift's name.
What?
It's NBC. It's CBS.
I do not want to watch
the window
it. I do not want.
Bro, they announce when she's going to the games before we know who they're playing.
Do not want to see that.
I don't want to see it either.
I think
there's new eyes.
I got to tell you, man.
I refuse to watch a Kansas
Travis Kelce, you son of a bitch, you did it.
I can't even blame Travis Kelce.
Because Stephen A. Smith said it. He was like, yo, because like Kelce was like, yo, I think it's getting a little bit overwhelming, this, that, and third.
He knows what he's doing.
But I'm like, bro, this was your doing.
He knows what he's doing.
I can't even hate on Travis Kelce.
It's not hate. It's not hate. It's just saying like this is your doing.
I mean, with all the added attention, he already had the #1 podcast in sports out with his brother.
It's funny. It's really funny.
It's a great podcast.
It's entertaining.
Shout out my guy TD. My boy TD produces that show. It's an amazing
so entertaining.
Show. Hilarious. He already had the #1 podcast in the world in sports. He already got 2 Super Bowls under his belt. Like, you can't get more famous than that. But there is a level.
And then you had the documentary coming out with your brother.
Yeah. Well, it was just Jason. It's mostly focused on Jason. But
and they went to the Super Bowl together.
And they went to the Super Bowl together.
But the energy's going to translate over to him as well.
Also, what they're not going to say, he's also very good looking.
Who?
Travis.
Oh, well, that's for you to say.
That's for you to say.
Well, I know, that's why I'm saying it.
I mean, I don't know
very
how your palms does for me to like, yeah.
No, because you guys weren't going to add that to his little resume that you was giving him.
Of course.
Also, good-looking man.
He's a wholesome character.
Good-looking man.
Doesn't get in trouble.
Black girls, Spanish girls, white girls, all girls love Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce falls into the very fine line of like that very like diluted pool of acceptable white guys from many different walks of life, right? Like it's like before Kelce,
cool.
I mean before the Swifty stuff, everybody knew Travis Kelce as like, you know, the swaggy white boy in the Chiefs. Like he did. There was like a TikTok video of him doing literally like every single viral dance in the end zone because he scored so many touchdowns over the years.
He's cool.
He's done every single damn dance there is out there.
He's cool in my book.
I rocks with Travis Kelce.
He's cool in my book. But don't complain about the shit that you ignited. This is your fault.
But listen,
this is your fault.
What you gonna do? Because he's still balling.
Bro, I'm not mad.
It would be a thing.
I'm not mad. All I'm saying is you can't say it's overwhelming when you invited it.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
You could invite it and it'd still be overwhelming.
You knew what it was. That's Taylor Swift, bro. Like that's not no B list. That's no C list.
I don't think it's been a negative to him though. It would be one thing if he was if he was stinking it up.
He's acknowledging
he's balling.
No, but he's acknowledging that it's becoming overwhelming. And I'm like, yeah, that may be true, but it's like, bro, you started it.
He knew that was
so
gonna
it's like
there aren't two bigger brands in Americana than the NFL and Taylor Swift. You can name two more things more famous than those two entities.
John Deere,
Apple, and Google.
Well, look at the competition you're talking about.
John Deere.
Name two more.
Hold on, in the white community.
Name two more.
In the white community,
you're
John
talking
Deere.
about nameless, faceless things.
Name two more. Apple and Google.
Okay, those are global brands. I'm talking about in America.
Name two more brands that are bigger. NFL's a global brand as well.
But do you understand what the point I'm trying to make though?
NFL's not a global brand. They play in London every fucking. They play in London every damn week.
I'm not talking about
that's
global.
Not global. And you know what they do?
What is London?
But you know what they do in London when they go to games? They wear any type of jersey they could find.
And that stadium is packed.
Does not give a fuck.
That stadium is packed. So what do you call that?
When did they start that? How many years ago?
I mean, several years ago.
Thank you. So like,
how many years ago?
NFL is global. You know that, right?
They don't care about the NFL.
Outside
of the States.
NFL.
It's not as global as I would say other sports.
Is it global?
It's not global, bro.
It's definitely a global brand.
They're mad outside of the country. They're mad that we call it football.
That wasn't the point I was trying to make, but what's that?
Outside of this country, they're mad that we call it football because they don't think it's, they call soccer football.
Of course. No.
So like, oh, you mean American football?
Of course.
They know what it is.
So to them, it's an American thing.
They know what it is, though.
What I was trying to say is, as far as Americans are concerned, I mean, of course, you had to know it was going to get a huge amount of attention.
Everybody knows that. All I'm saying is you can't say it's overwhelming when you knew what the actual, consequences, not consequences, but you knew what the ramifications were. Like you just knew that. You're not dumb.
I don't think he's complaining. I think it's people like Rosy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's people like Rosy. It's people like the average fan that are just like, you don't want to see him on. You don't want to see him on. You literally just said it. Why are you staring at me like that?
It's people like Rosy that what?
You literally just said I don't want to turn on SportsCenter and see Taylor Swift.
I don't want to see her. I love him.
I don't mind it. Like I understand. Like
I don't want to see it.
I understand why.
The fuck? When did ESPN become MTV, bro? I don't want to see Taylor Swift.
Listen.
You're supposed to give me highlights. You're supposed to talk shit.
Let me ask you this.
I don't want to see her just cheering with his mom. Like, I don't care.
Let me put it in your language. If one of the players from the Knicks was dating Taylor Swift, and every pregame, postgame coverage, in-game coverage was Taylor Swift on courtside. The guy she's dating scores 30 every night and this and the third, and everything is just based around her. Like, well, the team's 3-0 ever since Taylor came in, and now Taylor's not there. They're 3-3. Like, how would you feel about that kind of rhetoric and narrative?
It's literally happened all the time. Like every single level of star like that. Like I remember when Tony Romo was dating Jessica Simpson and there was records about, oh man, Jessica Simpson's here. Ooh, is he gonna blah blah blah? Right. When Russell Wilson and Ciara first started dating, there was like, oh man, Ciara, you see, that's why he's been balling so hard.
But it hasn't been to this magnitude.
Because they're not as famous as Taylor Swift. Yeah. Like, that's why I think that's why it goes under the radar. Taylor Swift is bigger than just being like a starlet. Like Jessica Simpson, like if Taylor Swift woke up one day with Jessica Simpson or Ciara's career, she'd jump off a fucking bridge the next day. Like Taylor Swift is a whole different level of famous than these other people. She is a brand to herself.
I live under a rock because I really don't know any of that.
You're not wrong.
Dog, there's a whole. I
don't know. I can't name a Taylor Swift song.
Outside of the East,
you don't have to.
Outside of New York and California, there's a whole stretch of country out there in between New York and California that
just
Taylor Swift is royalty to these white people.
Yeah.
Like, Literally. Yeah. And talk less of, I mean, not my cup of tea musically, but she actually has some talent. Like she's actually like producing a skill. She's not famous for being popular. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like I get it. Like I completely understand.
So when the NFL knows that everything that Kaz just said.
What's the one demographic the NFL didn't have a padlock on? They own a day of the week. They own every single man, woman, and child fucking love football. Who's the one demographic they didn't have on?
The pop.
The TikTokers.
Bruh. So I get it.
No, I get it.
You think the NFL don't have enough money? They're like, watch us. We're gonna get all the money. We're taking all the money.
My thing is this. Sometimes they show her during the game, and I'm like, we about to miss a play because y'all got the camera on her.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some studies over there that were like, this 30 seconds we had on Taylor Swift is something more views than whatever touchdown Tyrod Taylor or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, you're right.
It is the world we live in. It's the reason why.
It is.
Travis Kelce,
it's the reason
you are
why.
A smart man.
That's my point.
It's the reason why even shit we don't want to see in our media, we're still getting like I don't think my fingers have ever typed in the combination Krishan Rock or Blueface ever in life. It's never done it, but the shit still finds you anyway.
I know
I'm looking at my hands. I'm like,
I've never in my life even purposely tried to see anything going on in their lives ever.
I know way too much about their relationship,
but the way engagement works, the way we're wired to look into this shit.
We gotta unfollow.
It's gonna find you anyway.
It's not. See, like that's the thing.
You can unfollow.
You can unfollow anything.
There'll be 10 more to replace it. Right, spiritual word,
or somebody, or somebody's gonna retweet it. Somebody that you follow is gonna retweet it. You're gonna see it. You're gonna get triggered. Then you're gonna engage. That's just how it works.
It's impossible. Yeah, it's impossible to miss. Yeah. So, and I'm just talking about Krishan and Blueface. Yeah. So when I've never purposely listened to Taylor Swift. I'm sure I know a song or two if they start playing it for a little bit. And I'm like, okay,
I remember that. Yeah. So with all that said, the NFL clearly understands the way the psyche works because we're gonna hate something so much, but there's that component of the NFL that we love so much.
We're hate watchers by nature, bro. We're hate watchers by nature. I'm a Jets fan. I've been hate watching the Jets.
I'm a Giants fan.
You at least been to some Super Bowls. I've been watching the Jets for most of my adult life, knowing that they suck, and I'm still gonna watch.
You at least been to some Super Bowls.
We haven't been. We won.
You've at least had some football of importance to watch.
Some football accolades that have made us. Yeah, I got you.
I think us as Americans, us as media consuming individuals, we are hate watchers by nature. Like,
why are you putting that on us?
Because that's what we are. That is what we are.
I'm not a hate watcher.
No, I always read it.
I try not to be.
Define a hate watcher.
A hate watcher is people who can't stand something but will spend every waking moment of their existence talking about how much they can't stand something.
I'm not a hate watcher.
I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it for sure.
I just won't watch it.
At least I know.
Yeah, but I just won't do it.
Now, but I think now, like. So now with like the media and the entertainment and the things that are being presented to us, I think I'm controlling it a lot better than I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like when I'll reference the Drake album, right?
Okay.
After like the first 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
We gave our hot takes. Yep. We gave our takes on Rap Life here, just on Twitter, whatever the case is. After that, maybe second or third week, I was like, all right, I'm done. I've said it. Old me would have still been hate tweeting, hate watching, this, that. I'd have still been going.
Okay.
So now I'm just like, all right, cool. I made my opinion. I stated my place. This is how I feel about it. It's on camera. Y'all can read it. Boom, it's there.
Right.
And I'm done.
Right.
So yeah, my hate tweeting has lowered a lot.
That is
self-awareness.
Yeah, I would say I'm guilty of it too, man. Like I used to put out, like I look at like my old social media posts and I get like really ashamed because I'm like, damn, I spent a lot of time talking about shit that I just don't even care for just because there was other people out there that was talking to me about how much they also didn't fucking like it. Right. And like that was for me once.
But you see it, but now you still see it, but it's more heightened. It's just like, yo, bro, like every day.
Yeah.
Every day, my nigga.
It's
like,
that sort of same, I want to say, endorphin boost that I think people get from engagements on social media. I think we experienced that early with music when it was very easy to talk about. Now replace that with politics. Replace that with your favorite sports team. Replace that with
religion.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's why we see so much crazy shit,
so much negativity
on our social media. I mean, I've had to even pull back a little bit more on my own.
Yeah, me too.
And try to at least purposely now, like try to at least create a silo of shit that I just want to see and talk about. All right. Like I'm very well aware there's wild shit happening in the world right now.
Every day.
Wild shit. And it's definitely my job. It's definitely your job as an individual to stay
position yourself in a sector of the world that's not
even position yourself. Just stay aware of what's going on.
Oh no, I'm saying make aware, like be aware of what's going on outside of you, but the things that you can control. Put yourself in a sector where it's like, okay, I can control at least this part of it.
For sure. There's a part of you that I think I use it, me personally, as not a defense mechanism, but just a way to sort of, like mentally take care of myself. I know, and like at least I can use this medium of entertainment or something that I use for work with social media
to balance
out all the crazy shit that I'm seeing all the time, right? Like I can at least in this little world of a phone create a silo where I can just talk about hoops and just talk about wrestling and just crack jokes about new music and shoot the shit with some homies or whatever. And I understand that like being aware of all that shit that's happening in the world I don't think it makes you any worse or better of a person for not using that same energy to put into something that's used to bring you joy.
Because the things that we're looking at and reading and watching 24/7 kind of puts you in a dark place of like, yo, there's no hope for humanity. There's no hope for a turnaround. There's no hope for anything because every day we wake up, there's something else being put in our face that's so traumatic and so negative. So
and at some point, you got to go into self-preservation mode too, where it's like, all right, what can I do to at least
protect myself from
something?
Yeah, that's why you have your bubbles.
Like the bubbles.
That's when you create your own little bubbles.
Because it's not like you can escape this shit, but at least you can control what you can control.
Temporary fix.
Yes.
So, and even I remember I texted the group the other day and I was like, yo, Kaz, you were right. The rap debates, the music debates, that's kind of my bubble of like fun because I know it's not serious and I know it's not going to be taken anywhere, but like
and
everything.
I'll take it a step further. I think you have a responsibility to keep that.
Okay.
Right? Like I think with you, no, I'm dead ass.
Why you laughing?
That was
dead ass, bro.
Because we just went from being like, oh, a little lighthearted, this is your bubble. No, you gotta do it.
No, you gotta do that.
You better clock in.
You don't understand, like so many people depend on you to be like, yo, I just listen to this fucking song or I just listen to this album and I know this little buttons I push is my little getaway for a couple minutes. I know I can go online and I can see somebody that is doing that also and I can engage with them. And that's my little 5 minutes to 10 minutes to just be like, I don't know low key, but goddamn, why is he going so hard in his Drake album? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? And for some people, like they need that to get to the next day. And whether that's good or bad in the long haul, I don't think that's for any of us to decide.
Yeah.
But I do believe, like, like in crazy times, just throughout history, people have found ways to still talk about the arts, talk about the sports, talk about just life. You know what I mean?
And things that make them happy.
Things that make you happy, man. As crazy as it is, that still is important.
I was going to ask you, though.
What up?
I've been listening to this West Side Gun album.
Okay.
Hey, I like that.
I really like it.
Like
Do you like it?
Yeah. Stove God, Cooks, showed out.
Why does he always have that rapid? Rick Ross is up there.
Ross is on there. Ty Dolla $ign, that was a surprise.
Yeah, he has this.
You about to drop this Yeezy album?
They have this rapidy rap thing that just doesn't go away. It's so New York. It's so raw.
That's like you see, like that's the thing.
All his beats, everything.
That's the thing. You want that.
No, I love that.
No, yeah. I mean, like there's a sector of the world that wants that just dirty, aggressive.
I don't think dirty when I think
dirty, nasty,
but I get
in the trenches.
Like when you like
the New York shit,
slow samples, you know.
Like,
I mean,
you heard, like, bro, that's that nasty, that's that
I get it.
The burner's dirty, the serial number scratched off, the shit. Like, bro, that's dirty hip hop. We love that shit, bro.
I get it.
I love that shit. Like, X was dirty and just grimy.
It makes me want to wear Tim's.
Yeah, that's
not even tied.
All right, so in addition to that, right? I think Benny got on Instagram earlier this week and was basically talking about how, you know, rap critics
Benny the Butcher.
Side note, that nigga album's crazy.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Crazy.
But here's the thing, right? Like, he was talking about how content creators, rap critics should just spend more time just enjoying the music and not,
not trying to break it down.
I'm sure you saw the video, but he was like basically saying like, yo, man, like,
shut the fuck up
and enjoy the greatness or something like that, right? Which is always interesting for me to see when rappers take that stance, because fans always think that their rapper or their time is the first time rappers have ever been critiqued. Right? Like,
y'all niggas ever heard of The Source?
Like the critique of rap is so
long with just long.
But I hate it.
It's so critical to the. It's.
But I hate it.
It's a necessity.
It's so critical to its success. Like, rap is the only genre of music that I think is.
But it's all subjective.
Of course, it's all subjective.
So
but that's what makes it great.
I really every time I hear a critic,
hold on,
Lo, even you.
Well,
sometimes.
we're basically critics.
Every time Lo tells me something, whatever, or he critiques an album, whatever, I'm like, I don't care, because that's not gonna stop me from listening to it and creating my own opinion.
I'm not okay. So to that point, I'm not trying to stop or encourage you from listening or not listening.
You're just giving your opinion.
All I'm saying is this is how I feel about it.
Yeah, but my thing is,
but what's the problem about that?
Who voted you to be that person?
Who said my opinion was law?
Why you keep talking then?
Because I'm good at it.
Why you keep
and I get paid handsomely well for it.
Okay,
so
my thing is, I don't give a fuck.
So then why do you care about what the fuck I say?
Everybody says about any album, any album, I don't care. I'm still gonna listen to it.
So you sound like the artist. You sound like the artist right now.
But
I don't care. But then you make a 30-second, 2-minute video about y'all niggas critique music too much. It's too many hot takes. Then why the fuck do you care about what I'm talking about? I never said my opinion was long.
I never said I watched your shit.
But I think.
But that's how the artists think. I don't care.
Well, maybe for them it's probably different because they probably get so many mentions and so many comments and. You know, for them, it's probably overwhelming. For me, it's just like, I just don't give a fuck. I just keep scrolling. I'm still going to listen to it. And for my own opinion, because what you like, I don't like. We know this.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, why would I care? And then I look at the people that do critique music, or like, they might look at us or be like, you know, why are you talking about this? And it's like, what made you the fucking...
But that's the thing though, right? Like, I think this draws to a whole conversation just about rap critics or media critics in general, right? Like, I think for a long time, you know, people like that I've come up with or that I've worked with have a specific sort of way of critiquing music. People that you've come up with and people you've worked with have a certain specific way of critiquing music. But I think now, in the era where that power of the critique has kind of been taken away.
Why?
Because everyone kind of has a voice now.
I was just about to say that.
At one point, you needed to either be a XXL Source, Vibe, Complex,
MTV.
one of those. You needed a platform.
Yeah.
Social media didn't exist, so you didn't. You couldn't really even like create a platform for people to even care about your opinion
because there was no reference of what you were around when things were released and what did you say about such and such project. Now there are people just saying shit without any kind of reference points. Like, where did you come from? What's your lineage? Are you even a journalist?
Right.
Are you just speaking out the mouth because now you made a hot take and now you got people's attention? Are you really giving an honest, genuine, authentic critique? Did you listen to the album? You sat with it for 2 days. You're calling it a classic. You're calling it trash. Niggas sat at the Source and Vibe with the album for 30 days before they even critiqued the shit. And when it came out, you got an honest, genuine opinion. And 9 times out of 10, that opinion was right. You feel what I'm saying? So when I look at,
I think they got something wrong though.
Was it right?
But a reasonable doubt wasn't like
was it right, or did it kind of just like encourage you to think it was right?
Because
you trusted them.
that's another part to it. But it kind of,
so you already went into it with their opinion,
because there was history with what they've done in that specific lane.
But this is what I'm saying.
No like
who voted the motherfuckers to be that person.
So let's find who found that vote.
No
right?
disrespect. I'm just saying, like, why do people listen to other people's opinions?
So, all right, so put it like this: people who listen to this show,
opinion for the time.
People, let's just break down. Let's just break down this as an example, right? Okay. People who listen to this show may have listened for one of three reasons. They like Low and his music takes on Apple. Mm-hmm. They like me and my shit from wrestling to sports or NBA or whatever. Yeah. And they're just fans of Rosy because Rosy's a personality and Rosy's out here. And like they know that she's actually outside when she listens to music.
It can exist in different sectors.
Right. Yeah. So I think everybody here's opinion on songs sort of hit it a little differently when we kind of give our critiques. And all that is building trust with people who listen to you. Right. So I think when it comes to, if Rosy is saying like, I don't give a fuck what Lo thinks, this is what I like, I'm sure if there was zillions of people listening to this show, there'd be a zillion people that think exactly like Rosy. That'd be like, yeah.
And I can't say they wrong, but I'm not going to sit there and say their opinion is law. Now,
nobody's opinion is law.
Right. So, but now when I start giving my shit off and I start, really talking my shit, some people over there might come over here because like, oh, he has a little bit more credentials or his take
your credentials precede you. Right. Like you've been doing this for a while. It's not like you're just kind of coming out of nowhere but then just giving somebody's opinion. Like you have the cosign of some of the greatest rappers to ever live. As far as like when you have an opinion on an album or on a song, like people call you to bring you in to listen to music before they release it to the masses. So you're not just anybody, right? Like you're in the same vein. Like you've been in studios and people are making like great albums and stuff.
Been
and
around experiences that people will never get to actually be a part of.
And now you have a platform where, once you kind of like put, there's artists that have been on this show that you've known for years or worked with artists that have known for years and know that like, your perspective on music is extremely important because
and vastly
it's not
different.
Just niggas that us that vastly different. Right?
There's an album coming out soon. I think I'm not sure. I don't know when it's coming out, but I helped create like the track list of like how everything should flow.
So look at that. That right there, that little piece of information right there is going to be a nugget that people that love and respect music, because sequencing track listings, that's not easy.
It's important.
And that's
so the fact that you have that kind of foot in that experience, that's going to bring you another.
That's the only difference between this era of media and the past era of media when platforms were everything. Where you wrote for or where you were on TV for meant everything to your credibility. Now you got to build up your own credibility. Unless like, you're with you got Spotify or Apple or one of these things like backing you. But a lot of those times.
Well, you saying I don't got credibility?
No, I'm saying let me finish the sentence. I said a lot of those times, those people don't just sprout up out of nowhere. Like
there's been like the seed's been growing.
They have decades of experience, whether it's writing about music, whether it's getting the trust of artists about certain music, whether it's about interviewing certain artists, whether it's about interviewing certain producers. They even though they don't know music and they're not rapping, and much like basketball players get up in their panties in a bunch when they feel like people who haven't accomplished what they've accomplished
or played the game
or something like that. Just because they haven't done something doesn't mean they don't have the experience of not critiquing, but knowing the history. Just by knowing the history of your certain shit, you can have a better sort of point of view on certain people being an artist and sometimes the artists themselves. If you know a lot of artists personally, some of their trusted people are people in media. People that
you have no idea.
You have no idea. Like you're the biggest of them.
They sit down. What you think?
You think Hov wasn't sitting down with Elliot and Angie Martinez and all these legends in media before they drop certain shit, misinfo. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they're media, but like their pen and their thoughts
cut through the noise.
They were consequential to some of the greatest music we've ever heard.
Exactly.
So when certain artists get their panties in a bunch and they're like, critics like Hov had his certain shit to say about certain critics,
certain qualms.
He had his own qualms and critics, but he'll probably be the first one to tell you, like, obviously
they were an essential part.
It was essential parts of what is this now classic piece of art.
Because you can't just rely on the homies. First of all, the homies been listening to...
The homies are the worst critics.
From day one. And they gonna hype everything up.
Homies are the worst critics.
I straight up sat in the studio one time and was like,
all the homies.
All the homies liked it. I'm like,
nah,
it's not it.
This ain't gonna do what you think it's gonna do.
Right.
And he's like, nah, but
it's gonna do it. It's gonna on your block. It's gonna do.
It's gonna do numbers in the car when y'all going to the spot.
From the simple fact that the person that you're getting that advice from isn't somebody who is eating off of you. Like,
what do you expect?
I have nothing to gain from telling you this shit is fire or trash. Like,
no, but all the homies is right. I'm like, y'all
like,
are
there's
dumb.
no.
Y'all just trying to stay on payroll.
There's no. Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. Like,
I'm
there's
just
no
trying to stay on payroll.
This shit not gonna hit. You could cut this one. This is a.
You could put a career
7.
together. You could put a career together by having a good ear and being able to be like, well, I was first on this and first on that. But there's no grand prize for being the first person to say an album that everyone is gonna think is fire, and you were the first to say it.
Yeah, no shit, my nigga. Like, clearly it's fire.
Like, people who do that shit, people who do that shit for a living, people who have done that shit for a living, do it for a certain love of the culture and for
the energy, the response, the responsibility,
to keep a culture better than you left it.
Yeah,
we got a few minutes. We'll wrap up in 5.
And just to wrap all this shit up, if y'all don't care,
I think critics are more important than ever, man. That's why when we do our sleepers and slappers, and we talk about the songs that we listen to, the shit that we like, everything is so controlled by an algorithm now. Everything is so controlled by fucking streaming farms and numbers.
So you're saying we gotta break.
We gotta get back to real people discussing real experiences.
Bro,
like
you was actually on to something.
I'm always on to something. I'm not just talking to my ass.
Okay. I'm just trying to give. But you actually were, because like once you said that a couple weeks ago.
Look at the product.
Yeah.
Look at the product. Look what's out there in rap right now. Look, even the artists themselves, like Offset just did the shit with Ebro that I just saw on the way in. He was like, yo, this shit's getting boring on Apple Music. Yeah. He's like, yo, this shit's getting boring, man. Like, not for the Rowdy Rebel, same shit. I just seen a video of him just talking about like, yo, shit is whack right now because he was, and again, and you can't even say certain shit is whack right now without being labeled A, B, or C.
Yeah.
But like, just look at what's out there. Like, it's not that there's not.
I mean, I like what's out there. Like the Nas, Nick Grant.
How much do you gotta dive in
the
deep?
Killer Mike. I like
how deep do you got
the West Side Gun. Like
how deep do you gotta dive for that shit though?
That's us though.
Huh?
How deep do you gotta dive for that shit though, bro? Like,
you don't gotta dive deep. Like, these niggas are fucking nice. Nick Grant been around for 12 years. Killer Mike is cemented. Nas is there.
I'm just saying, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about in the sense of just the entire rap game in general. Like, just look at just how overall quality, sales, numbers, everything's down, bro.
Right.
Everything's down. Nobody's setting no new records. I mean, Drake is, but Drake is damn near a pop star anyway. Like, there's nobody breaking new talent.
Cole's terrorizing niggas on the features. Like, Cardi's doing her shit. The women are fucking tormenting us. I don't see, like... No, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Stop.
The women are fucking tormenting us.
They running up their numbers. Like,
I'm not saying the quality of rap is bad. I'm just saying there is a...
Shit is off.
It's off in the sense that, like, the stuff that was what made hip hop so groundbreaking as far as like kicking doors down about doing, like, there's no more real doors to break. And I think that's what resulted in a lot of mediocre shit lately. There's
two questions before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Do you think, and my boy Eddie said this on Rap Life this past week, is rap in like a transition? Is it like a re-step, a restart?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Like, nobody...
So Eddie was right. My fault.
Like, bro, the experience of seeing a live current rap act is not worth it. Like, it's the reason why, like...
Legacy or just current?
A current rap act, like...
Oh, they're lazy.
Bruh, there's no show. It's
and Offset said that. Offset said that. Offset said that with Ebro. He was like, "There's no more showmanship."
Yes, and I understand you have to get to a certain level of artist to even be able to put on a show like that. But that's where you get creative.
And honestly, at the end of the day, it's our fault.
I mean, you vote with your dollars, man.
It's our fault.
You vote with your dollars. I agree.
It's our fault.
I don't know, man. I think rap critics are essential. I think they're essential.
We're
now.
not going nowhere.
I think they're essential now more than ever. I think you need the Ebros, you need the Elliots, you need the Joe Buddens, you need the Rorys, you need the Charlemagnes.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the Ebros, the Rorys, the Joe Buddens, the Lows.
The Deskas,
they're
the
not gonna.
Lows,
Y'all are not gonna like
the Kazes, the Rosies.
Y'all not gonna like make me not listen to something or like cloud my judgment on something because of your opinion. We're two different
That's
people.
the beautiful part of this entire
thing.
thing.
A lot of people that follow you guys, they take your opinion and they roll with that. They go into it with your opinion.
And that's the responsibility as the critic too. You got to as long as you're saying what you really feel. That's fine.
Listen, I think people fuck with us. And just me, like I stand on what I say, and I'll break it down to you. I'll explain it to you why I think the way I think. If you can convince me otherwise, that's fine. But
so break down why.
I think that's the difference between me and you, though.
So break down why Glorilla shouldn't have used that Uchiwali sample.
I think people are.
We're just, and we're not just gonna say Glorilla.
No, I'm saying that song where she used the one that she got mad at Kai about.
She shouldn't have been on that song.
I'll tell you exactly.
She shouldn't have been on that song. Lola Brooke should have been on that song.
But even though that, like,
the sample,
that same
again,
song,
the sample was.
Y'all are missing the point.
What's the point?
That song was made in a boardroom, bro. Like that was a song. That's a song that looks like somebody's like, all right, Gorilla, we're gonna put. It's like we're gonna check off all the cliche boxes of what we need.
But then you can say that about a bunch of. You can say that shit about
exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make.
And I've been yelling about this shit for mad long. Yes, the samples are lazy, and the consumer, it's our fault because we're like, oh, this is cute, oh, this is dope, this, that, and the third, and we keep pressing play,
it's like McDonald's, bro. It's like they figured out a formula, and we're like, we're just gonna put this shit out as much as we possibly can, and then you see why people aren't gravitating towards it.
But the niggas be in spots, they be in lounges and clubs like, oh, this is cute, this is vibe, we good, this, that, and the third.
I don't want to hear that shit nowhere.
I'm telling you, bro, it's our fucking fault. That's all I'm saying. You get on TikTok, you go on Twitter, like, oh, this is cute, this is fire. It's our fault. It's literally our fault. That's it. So I'm not blaming the artists because we're allowing them to do this lazy shit. We're allowing them to repeat themselves.
I don't want to hear that shit.
I'm telling you,
it's definitely not.
But you know what I do? Instead of bashing the artists and shit, like I just won't listen to it. No, I'm saying me personally. I'm not gonna be like, yo, this shit sucks. It's not for me.
Yeah, I when we talk about hate watching and that sort of echo chamber of creating stuff that we like, that's, I mean, not for nothing. I think I'm like realizing this as I'm recording this show. Right. I think that was a big part of like why I kind of felt like I needed to step back from the show for a little bit, right? Like
it was so much hate speaking.
That like there was I just wasn't really inspired by a lot of shit out there to talk about. Like it's just for a while. It's just like, man, this shit is dry, nigga.
If I'm
and I'm not moved by like just put it up, put it up. I'm driven like by creativity. I'm driven by like
planting your flag and like, yo, this is what we did.
Do I feel good about this? That is what leads every single thing I do. I don't give a fuck about money. I don't give a fuck about the look. I don't care about. I'm like, does this make me feel good in here?
Am I proud when I get the final edit? When I put the shit up and I'm like, yo, this.
When I post the shit, does it feel fucking good?
Y'all gonna fuck with this?
Is it something I really care about talking about? Is it something that I think is a positive out there, you know? And for a while, I put out a lot of negativity.
Like an objective, an objective perspective. Like there's certain things that I'll do on Rap Life. I'm like, I don't, if they catch it on the episode, but I don't want to, maybe I kind of stepped outside of my boundaries. Maybe I was like a little too aggressive, but majority of the time, I'm like, this is how I feel. And I want y'all to engage. I want to hear what the fuck y'all got to say. Maybe I'm looking at it from a different angle, but that's why I love doing that show. Cause it's like, I can get my shit off. And then I got Ebro right there. Then I got Nadeska. But then over here, it's just personal and fun and friendly because we're talking from experience.
Yeah. I think it's,
and we're talking from a place of comfortableness where it's like, yeah, Lo, you bugging.
No, I think
Rosy,
with us,
you make sense.
I think we try our best to keep everything on the field of play. Yeah. Right? Like, I try my best personally not to involve, like, your personal life.
No, of course not.
What people think of you. Like, is the music good? Did you do something outside the studio?
We don't gossip. We're here for the music.
Did you do something outside the studio that affects the way I look at this music now?
Yeah. Who wrote it?
Right.
Now, if we wanted to gossip,
I don't want the gossip.
I don't want the
give a
gossip.
fuck.
I'm just saying, if we were that.
I will say this. If it took some drama or a couple heartbreaks or some cheating to get this album, and I really like it, do it again.
I get it. I get it.
What, get cheated on again? Get cheated on again?
Get cheated on again.
If that,
pick a fuckboy again.
Now, if that is for public consumption,
then we gonna talk about it.
Then it's like, all right,
if that's what got you here and that's what made this song, I want it.
If you just cheated on your wife and she's 3 months pregnant and she's keeping it, and then you put out an album called Confessions, I gotta listen. I gotta use it. I gotta use it.
You gave me ammo.
You brought me in.
Second thing.
You brought me in, so I'll use that.
Third thing.
Anyway.
Yo, I really think this is a great episode.
Yeah, man. This is a save of an episode.
Yeah, man. Fuck Brick.
Listen, it happens, bro. Anybody who's recording a podcast knows how it is when you have a guest and things happen. But it is what it is. This is New York City. I'm sure we'll figure it out. But anyway, shout out to Rope Podcast Network. Thank you so much for listening to Say Less with Kaz, Low Key, and Rosy. Thank you so much for listening to our last episode. If this is your first time here, make sure you go and check out some past episodes. We've been gone for a minute, but we're back now.
Yes.
And if you like what you hear, if you like what we're talking about, there's going to be more of it. Click subscribe, share it. Do what you got to do. You know the deal. Shout out to the old folks at Revolt, man. Lo, what you got going on this week?
Hey, man, I'm chilling, bro. I think Halloween's coming up. Giants playing the Jets on Sunday. Hopefully we'll see how that turns out. But, just gearing up for the holiday season, just doing more Apple Music shit, just staying out the way and staying loud.
Rosy, staying out the way and staying loud?
Staying out the way and staying low. Not loud. Yeah. In the clear.
You got those pants out the cleaners? This is a nice crease. All right, my fault.
Hey, yo. Shout out our boy Jameson, man.
No, I like it.
Shout out our boy Jameson, friend of the show. Friend of the show. Get the kicks.
He has this Leader Quality, which is his brand, Avia sneaker collab dropping tomorrow. And his shirts, he got hoodies, he got everything you can think of.
Shout out to good brother Jameson, man. Love that boy, man. Congrats.
Boy. I'm so proud.
Yes, sir.
Go buy them kicks, man. You will catch me on Counter with PointsBet, a Fanatics experience all week long, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. You catch me on the Ringer Wrestling Show Monday and Thursday on the Ringer Podcast Network. Man, you can catch me next week on Peacock doing Ultimate WWE, Ultimate WWE Crown Jewel, and this is awesome on that. So it'll be live around like midnight, so stream it whenever you want to on Peacock. And man, I should be in MSG soon. We'll see how that goes.
Congrats to Monica.
Oh my God.
Congrats to Monica.
Congrats
Big up Monica,
friend of the family,
friend of the show,
Yes,
the new voice of the New York Knicks for MSG Radio, for ESPN.
Yeah.
Oh man, I heard some of the highlights from the game. She absolutely killed it. I mean,
Monica's a G.
Not only. Bro, I listen to the Knicks on the radio all the time, bro.
We know.
And not just hearing the games, but now like hearing the homie. And she's a black like just the amount of doors she kicked over just being a black woman calling the Knicks every single game out. Couldn't be more deserving. One of the best people I know. Congratulations, Monica.
Clap it up for Monica McNabb real quick.
I don't need to tell you to go listen to the Knicks, but I'm sure when you do, just shout her out.
Shout out to her. Congrats.
Yes, sir. As always. But anyway, man, next time we'll catch you with some slappers and sleepers. We'll probably have some guests here, and we'll do some.
Shut up.
But until then, like we always do at this time, you know the rules. Stay free, stay safe, and always say less.